cyber dopamine here. So I'm past the honeymoon phase where I now use the Steamdeck OLED for when I need to use it as opposed to playing on it because I have it. Does that make sense? Like, it's a part of my life as opposed to a new dopamine purchase, if you get what I'm saying here. Owning the Steamdeck OLED has literally changed a lot of factors in my life. And it sounds crazy, but it's true, I promise. So there's two ways you can look at it. There's one way where you've had a long day at work, right? And you're coming home and you're like, I want to go home and play some games. And you get home and you realize it's kind of like a commitment to freaking play a game. You don't want to sit on your desktop setup and play a game right now. You're so tired. You just want to chill. You want to lay on bed and unfortunately doom scroll on TikTok or YouTube, probably like you are now. But what I'm trying to say is gaming kind of feels like a commitment now, especially with like our phones, right? It's so easy just to pop up YouTube and chill. And so that's where the Steamdeck OLED comes into play so well, because it's so weird that I'm saying this, but I feel like gaming is far more healthier than the freaking doom scrolling on the TikToks, man. And I'll tell you why. So the Steam Deck, it's just tap and play, right? You just tap it, boom, let's play. And you put it to sleep, you go to work, you come back, you pick up where you left off yesterday. It's so low commitment gaming that you can actually get away with gaming a lot more. And of course, you can game wherever you want to go. I brought it with me here at this view or whatever. That's one side of the spectrum. Then there's the other side of the spectrum where maybe you have a gaming addiction. Maybe you love gaming so much, you're always locked up in your little desktop setup, right? I've got a den in the corner of my apartment. I'm always in there, right? My girlfriend and Ruby, my little puppy, they're watching freaking American Idol. I'm like locked away in my cave. And so the Steam Deck is also amazing for ensuring that I am involved with them while I'm playing my games, if that makes sense, which means that nobody gets mad, right? It's less like you see those things online where people press the PlayStation button or the Xbox button and the girlfriend comes in mad, right? That's not a thing with the Steam Deck because you're with her, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is gaming with the Steam Deck has literally made gaming so easy, so casual, more involved, to where it's way more healthy, if that makes sense. It's crazy, but it's so true. Also, this is like a handheld focused channel. You don't have to sub if you don't want to sub. But if it's your vibe, so you do you. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is performance with the Steam Deck. So yeah, you look at the other handhelds on the market, like the ROG Ally, Legion Go, they perform almost twice as good, right? And so there's a few newer releases that have come out where you just can't play them on the Steam Deck. And it's super valid because it's true. And I kind of deal with that here and there. I do have all the other handhelds, but I keep coming back to the Steam Deck, even though it's not the most powerful, because it is the most well put together gaming handheld that I do own. Right? So it's like a switch. Like you just know when you turn it on, the games are ready for you. They're more or less optimized for you. You're just not going to run into all these little problems that take away from your gaming time. But before we talk about the other stuff, I want to give a shout out to Sharge. They're freaking G's for this because they have this thing called the Sharge Disk Plus. And basically it's this super thin external SSD enclosure. But what's cool is it's super compact. So if you take a look, like it's the size of a card holder. It slides into your pocket with this cool little sleeve. But the whole body is aluminum, which is good because it keeps the temps low. And it does 10 gigs per second. And honestly, it feels like it. I put all my B-roll in here. But you can put 4 terabytes inside this thing. And one thing I really like is the 2 USB-C ports. So you can transfer data, but you can also charge other devices. And then it snaps onto things magnetically. You have these MagSafe rings, which is cool because I can put it on the back of my MacBook Pro when I'm editing. What's super freaking rad is I can attach this to my Legion Go or like a Steam Deck, whatever you have. And so I have this storage ready for me. I can put my games on here because it's freaking 4 terabytes. And my favorite part is the fact that there's no cables. The only cable that you use is attached to the case. So far less responsibility. And it works with every M.2 SSD. But you got to check out Sharge because they have a lot of cool accessories with that marathon-like aesthetic. Like, take a look at this Sharge disc. It's pretty much the same thing as the first one I showed you, but it's in a different form factor. It's a lot smaller. And it's got a little freaking fan on the back, but the design is so cool. The aesthetic is awesome. I mean, just look at their website. They have so many cool futuristic looking products that are everyday carries that are so freaking fun. Thank you, Sharge, for sending me these things, seriously. But yeah, the lack of performance is one of my biggest issues with the Steamdeck OLED. That's where it like challenges me and pushes me to play games that I would have not originally played. So for example, a huge one is older games. I've never been one to play older games just because I like what's new. I like the improvement of technology in gaming, right? But, you know, with the Steam Deck, I put on Portal 2. It's like, what, almost 15 years old? And I'm having an absolute blast. I would have skipped right over that with my awesome gaming PC. But Portal 2 has been so freaking fun solving these little puzzles on such a small little device that I can take with me anywhere. It has reignited that love, that funness factor that I got from the older games that I grew up playing. You can play new games, but you can play all the games from here and backwards, right? All of them. So if you're trying to catch up on backlogs, right? You've got maybe all the Grand Theft Autos you want to play. You want to catch up on all the Elder Scrolls. You want to catch up on, you know, just the game series that there are, kind of like a TV show. This will do it for you. And it pushes you to do that too, which also kind of immerses you. It's really weird how it works. Now, here's the coolest part is recently this dude developed, I made a whole video on it. It's like basically it's a frame generation mod for the Steam Deck. So you've got Oblivion right here, remastered. It looks freaking stunning and it hits so close to home. But yeah, you know, sometimes you get 30 FPS outside here walking around the forest. With a DLSS frame gen mod that you can just simply install, I can get way better performance than if I were to play it without it. And now I can actually, I'm pretty up to date with the performance side of things. As long as you're okay with a little bit of latency, you can still have a very good time with newer titles. Yeah, you're pushing it, but still it's somewhat doable. Obviously, it depends on the game, like Stalker 2, forget it. But that also boils down to them not optimizing their game. Because then you've got a brand new game like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which runs incredibly well on this Steam Deck. And it's a game you can sink so many freaking hours into casually. That's the biggest part. Easily the best backlog annihilator. Catching up on old games. Or just like low commitment games. It's got a freaking OLED screen that looks so good, and not a lot of handhelds have OLED screens right now, which is really hard to like go back to a non-OLED after playing on OLED. It's something I personally really struggle with. This just has OLED for you. HDR works flawlessly. Red Dead 2 is just beautiful. The Steam Deck OLED is literally it's just quick dopamine hits. You know, press it, get your little dopamine, put it away. Press it, get your little dopamine, put it away. You know, time after time, time after time. And it's so freaking cool that you can do that with the Steam Deck. One of my favorite freaking things about the Steam Deck OLED, and this will sound crazy, but it's weird, is that it's humble. It's humble. What I mean by humble is like, it's like, you know, for me, I always like to spend all my money on like the latest and greatest thing, right? And you see, you get a new fast electric scooter like this one right here. And it's super fun, but you probably shouldn't have spent all that money on it, right? I could have put that elsewhere. But I did it anyways, and I regret doing that. It's called buyer's remorse. But I still freaking love this scooter, and I have so much fun. So there's like a sense of like hostility with this scooter and I. Because it costed so much, but still it's so fun. So there's a little bit of like guilt. With the Steam Deck OLED, it's kind of like having a 2009 Honda Civic that you don't owe any car payments on. Like, it's paid off. you could have a new Tesla, but you choose not to, and you feel really good about not having that Tesla. Therefore, you're just overall happier when you play on it. Maybe it's just a me thing, but what I'm trying to say is the bang for buck that you get is just out of this freaking world. And then if you were to argue and say the Steam Deck or the Switch 2, you know, as like the same thing, but the price that you're paying for these games is stupid. And the accessories is dumbfounded. And so the Steam Deck, you can buy all these older games, all these cool games for such a low price with the sales and everything that you are getting so much out of what you pay for. It's crazy. And I think, and so now, yeah, it's like mid-2025, maybe you're looking to buy one. Is it worth getting? Dude, it depends actually on the games you play. If you're someone that wants to sit back and relax and have like low commitment, like I would absolutely do it. And the newer games you can play, you might hit like 30 FPS, but you can still play them. Thank you guys for taking the time to freaking watch this vid. It's been a lot of fun. It's cool to kind of like go outside. Let me know if you like that. All right, bet.